Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Blood and Wine Part 3. Just fought off these, I think there's some kind of weird fucking plant-like things that burrow underground. They're quite irritating and I had to deal with them whenever I was actually fetching the Grandmaster feline gear, which I don't have on right now. I'm kinda flat broke. Anyway, Regis is here.
Regis!
Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be another way in around here.
Okay, great stuff. We're gonna have to find another way around. I'm guessing it's somewhere over here. We have to fight these ghouls first. Archispore, that's the name of these feckers. Okay, that's another one. Bites the dust. Okay, I'll just take whatever loot I can from these. Okay, and there's another 2 or 3. Fuck me. They deal some deadly ass poison whenever they're kind of like killed or hurt. They're so fucking annoying. Alright, so I'm just gonna loot these bodies and I'll try and find the actual entrance to the cave. Oh, I think I found it. It's just down here. Alright, let's hop to it. What's this? Annabella and Gwendon de la Tour. I don't care about that. I want to meet Regis. Fuck are you?
Lost your nerve?
KIKIMORE workers? What the fuck? So they have workers now for the vampire class and beasts.
KIKIMOREs. Looking for a hole around here.
Weird little motherfuckers, aren't they? Jesus. Alright, we're just gonna try and blast through this cave. Oh, cool. Literally blast through this cave. That's what we need to do. That's awesome. I meant it in the way as in, like, you know, like run through it pretty quickly, but hello, Regis.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here. Guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinares' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at KIKIMORE, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinares never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinares gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Kovinares spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were culled to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets, unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask indirectly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets. After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Dettlaff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, We can be reborn with a living high of vampires' help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment. Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Far as I know, none. Now what you got for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the whites survived entirely unmolested.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse, in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the whites' saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the WIGHT will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the WIGHT to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Alright, so we have to look for a WIGHT. I've never heard of these before. Obviously, you guys might know if you're well versed in the Witcher universe, but it's the first time of me hearing of one, especially a spotted WIGHT. And this sounds like it's going to be pretty cool, so I'm going to fast forward like usual so I can get to the destination a little bit quicker and stop my babbling. Oh my god, a warg's after me. Help me! Alright, so we have arrived at the lair of the WIGHT. Let's see what this motherfucker is. Okay, there's some enemies down there. They're really fucking tough, glowing hounds. I can't fucking remember their names, but they were pretty beastly.
Get a sense that the spoons are beating out some kind of rhythm. A message. Trying to tell me something.
It's kind of odd that it collects spoons. Maybe it's part of a curse.
None shall sit and dine with you at your table. No spoon you have shall say to you, never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror. Sounds like a curse, all right. Somebody's clearly obsessed. Regis mentioned the place might be cursed. Can't be a coincidence. Need to look around.
After all that, I was just thinking to myself, his beard looks glorious. Anyway, right, I'm just gonna save this, just in case things go sour, and
What a
I
pigsty.
don't want to reset.
Need to search it thoroughly. Find a way to collect some WIGHT saliva. WIGHT's obsessed.
Okay.
A real collector. Thoroughbred.
Yeah, I'd say collector's a weak
Spoon,
word.
Pretty ordinary. Maybe a little old.
Fucking fanatic of spoons.
Spoon's incredible. The craftsmanship. Must have graced a rich man's table.
The fuck is in here? A stained diary. Cool. Let's read that. Open it up. For a few days now, I have been having dizzy spells. I've never experienced anything like this before. If it carries on, although I can't stand witchcraft and sorcery, I'll have to visit a herbalist. The dizziness has not gone away. Worst of all, it's been joined by pain so strong that at times I cannot see. I've been to the herbalist, a repulsive old crone looked at me. I cannot think, and it is getting hard to write. Loneliness, no family. Eat, I want to eat. Not a good spoon. Empty spoons, nothing. Eat, it hurts. Mirror, lies, no. That sounds so fucking creepy. I feel so sorry for him or her. Fuck. It's so messed up, isn't it?
Poor girl. Realized she was changing into a monster. Recorded it in her diary. Poignant.
Alright, let's have a loot. Mug and... okay, of course. Fucking spoons. That is one of the creepiest things you could want.
Smashed mirror. As if someone couldn't stand to look at themselves. The monster. Journal's author, maybe?
Yeah, it's definitely the journal's author. Kind of shit myself it's just gonna appear.
Skeletons. Doubt they came here willingly. This have anything to do with the curse? None shall sit and dine with you at your table. It'd make sense.
Decaying letter. Okay, this might be interesting. Dear Master Lavassier, I know you track outlaws for pay. I have an unusual assignment for you. No doubt you wonder why I've drawn you out here and why we cannot meet in person. You see, in my present situation, any kind of meeting is very risky. Not so much for me as for the person whom I meet before I am afflicted by a curse, or the side effects of medicine given to me some time ago by a herbalist. Okay, so she's starting to think that the herbalist is probably the cause of all of this, but it is definitely something more sinister. She's probably done something wrong. More spoons.
Woman's name scratched into this wooden spoon. Romantic.
That's not the right spoon? Fucking hell. Okay, let's
No claw
examine
or
these.
fang marks. Probably choked to death. Broken neck. Indentation in the skull's lateral surface. Smacked in the head with something heavy. Right arm bit right off. Teeth all knocked out. Somebody tried to force feed him.
Okay, right. Geralt, it's time to go, old buddy, old pal. Let's leave. Okay, I'm guessing that's the very same curse scribbled all over the walls. Oh, this must be it. Spoon key.
Spoon key. Sophisticated crafting. Tag bears a description. WIGHT's a true collector.
Spoon key note. This certifies the item up for auction. An antique spoon key forged at the Christopherson and Sons workshop in 1210 belongs to Smigol Circus, owner of the Pheasantry. Smigol Circus sounds like a play on Andy Serkis, the guy who played Smeagol in the films Lord of the Rings. So, Smeagol Circus?
Actually does seem like a WIGHT's lair. Bit atypical, but still. Cauldron should be somewhere around here. Spoon. Pretty ordinary. Maybe a little old.
Feel bad for him having to examine every single fucking spoon. Ooh, what the fuck's going on here?
Looking for. WIGHT's not particularly tidy. Table's set. WIGHT who lives here is getting ready for some sort of feast. WIGHT that lives here, definitely afflicted by a curse, and it's been trying desperately to lift it. Cauldron's empty, unfortunately. Regis needs some brew. Afraid he won't get that. No choice but to hide and wait for the saliva glands and their bearer. Need a spot that'll let me observe the cauldron.
Alright, well I think I've seen a wardrobe. Yep. This should be it. The hiding spot of the century. Oh, that's awesome, we get a choice. Try to lift that curse, baby.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Wanna help? I've seen the words of the curse on the walls. Think I know how to lift it. You tried to bring folk here, convince them to sit at the table with you, right? Well, I'm gonna be your guest now. Your willing guest. Just need a bit for Regis. And now we'll tend to you. Need to get this right. Words of the curse were, "None shall sit and dine with you at your table. No spoon you have shall say to you, never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror."
Let's eat not using the spoons. Let's go with that.
We can't use spoons. No, that won't work. You've been looking for a spoon that would feed you, but there's no such spoon. We need to eat without spoons. Open your eyes. You need to see your likeness.
Girl almost fucking died from that. My god. He was fucked. Oh my god. Alright, let's go chase after her. Wherever she may be.
Just not quite like I expected. Need to see what happened to the white. Won't be hard to find given its stench.
Yeah, maybe I should have actually been following the stench instead of coming down here. I'm just gonna loot all the shit and words of wisdom on beastly curses. That's kind of cool. She must have been collecting that just trying to read it. Can't she as a white? Anyway, we've picked up the trail. So let's see if we can find said white. Alright, there's a ton of fucking hellhounds behind me called Barghasts. There's someone. Oh, there she is. Marlene is her name.
Easy, not gonna hurt you.
Eat. I must eat.
I'll take you someplace safe. So I took her by the hand and led her here. Seemed the only sensible place for her.
You did the right thing, sir. She should recover quickly here. Don't worry, sir. I shall see to everything. She is safe here and in good hands. She'll soon be back on her feet.
Might actually take a while. She hadn't eaten anything in over 100 years when I found her.
Horrid. Whatever brought this about?
Told me her story on the way here. Her name's Marlena. She was once the very beautiful and proud heiress to the Trastamara estate. One evening, when she was holding a banquet for friends, a beggar came to her gate seeking alms. He had a bowl and a spoon with him. He sat outside her fence and waited.
I've heard of the custom. An ancient rite of hospitality that obliges one to give food and drink to such a guest lest he depart hungry. To neglect the custom is to bring great misfortune down upon oneself.
Marlena didn't care a whit for the old customs. She drove the man off, saying she'd rather feed the leftovers from her feast to her dogs than to give the beggar anything. The beggar then broke his spoon, cast a curse. She was beautiful, so he said she'd never wish to look at herself in the mirror again. Since she adored feasts, he swore no one would ever wish to sit and dine with her. And as she even refused him the crumbs from her table, he swore she'd never find a spoon in the world that would sate her hunger.
A harsh punishment. I imagine lifting the curse was hardly simple.
Curses are tricky. They play on irony. Always gotta figure out what the catch is. Marlena had spent decades looking for a way to lift it. Transformed into a white, she stole spoons and lured folk into her home, trying each time to get them to dine with her. Didn't work.
So what did?
Someone had to sit down and share a meal with her, of their own free will. They had to eat without using spoons, and make her look at her reflection.
That's it? That was all it required?
Simplest solutions are sometimes the last that come to mind. Besides, when you're a white, it's pretty damn hard to find willing human company for a feast.
I imagine so. But, most importantly, it is now over. Please, don't worry. She will be in good hands here.
Thanks. Gotta get back to my business now. See you soon.
Alrighty, so that was really, really interesting. I love that mission. So I'm going to go back to Regis and report to him exactly what happened.
Think your friend's hand'll make for a nice broth?
You've clearly honed your sense of humor. But we are not cannibals, Geralt. I took a fragment of tissue from the hand. It will suffice to prepare some resonance.
What did you do with the rest?
I cremated it, as our codex commands. A raven told me you'd acquired the necessary ingredient.
Pretty helpful creatures. Call on them often?
I try not to overdo it. But they can be so useful, as they were now, when I merely needed to be sure I could arrive in time should things go sour.
Managed fine alone, but thanks for the thought. Gonna need much longer to finish brewing resonance? Mentioned a last ingredient, too. What about that?
That, I fear, might prove troublesome. You see, to use the concoction to summon the memories of one, the solution must contain the blood of another specimen of the same species.
Shouldn't be a problem. I happen to know a higher vampire who should be willing to help. Right, Regis?
It's not that simple, I'm afraid. While you were away, I tried my damnedest to identify a replacement, but alas, none such exists.
Not sure I understand what the problem is. Can't we just draw some of your blood?
The blood must be in an agitated state. As I'm certain you know, higher vampires can change their corporeal shell. As our flesh changes, so does our blood's chemical composition. To make a long story short, I shall need to induce in myself a state of strong psychokinetic arousal. In brief, madness, rabidity. And that stands to be very, very dangerous.
All right, so what do you want to do?
We shall visit Toussaint, an ancient vampire estate. There we will find cages suspended in the air. I will enter one, be confined. You will lure beasts there. Beasts you will then kill. The bloodletting should prove profuse. Abundant enough so that the blood scent will drive me mad. Wild.
Toussaint. What's it like?
It is a place of torment. A torture chamber. Long ago, shortly after we'd arrived in this world, one among us named Kagmar developed such a taste and lust for human blood that in one night he could imbibe an entire village. This brought trouble on the entire species. Common folk wearied quickly of living in constant fear. They began to hunt us, seek the aid of mages and witches in tracking us down.
So what? Not like they could ever hope to kill you.
But they were bothersome. Forgive the comparison, but when did you last enjoy mosquitoes buzzing around your head? In any case, the other vampires decided something had to be done. Kagmar had to be caught and punished. A torture chamber was thus outfitted in the dungeons of Toussaint. Inside it, a cage made entirely of a special alloy of silver, dalvinite, and meteorite steel. Kagmar was captured and locked in the cage, sat there over 2 centuries, driven to fury time after time, never able to escape. Thus I know the cage will withstand the fury to which we shall drive my humble being.
Little expedition's starting to sound dangerous. Think I better prepare.
I understand completely. Do tell me when you're ready to set off.
Alright, so in the very next episode we should be making Regis go all vampiric and feral. That sounds like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It sounds like it's going to be a great mission too. We're going to a really weird ancient kind of torture chamber for vampires, and I'm very excited to see what happens next. I'm pretty sure we're going to fight Regis, but We will see in part 4